What's up, former party people? This is Jerry, the one who actually combs his hair on the A is for Alcoholic podcast. Now, if you're finding value in listening to the AIFA podcast every week and you want to support sharing it with others, we invite you to become a sustaining monthly or per show contributor. Go to patreon.com/AIFA. It's super easy and it only takes a quick moment. It's about as easy as buying one of those pre-cooked space chickens from the grocery store, taking it outside, giving it a big old kiss, and kicking it into traffic. Why would you do that? Anyway, you do you, and I'll do me. Again, go to patreon.com/AIFA. And with that, people, let's start the show.
A is for Alcoholic is a program about recovery. My name is John, and I'm an alcoholic.
And my name is Jerry, and I'm an alcoholic.
Join us as we go through the alphabet of alcoholism, one letter at a time. Today is the letter F, and F, Jerry and I both we talk about this multiple times throughout. I think it's the most, we want to do F is for food and for fitness. And I think it's probably for me at least, it is a real actual physical manifestation of change that I have seen in my own person, in the mirror, because like a lot of the change that we talk about is internal. It's in our brains or in our hearts. And so actually changing my body through exercise and dieting is something I can see. It's tangible, right? Because like you can see somebody who looks happy and they can be miserable as shit,
Right.
So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about food and fitness in recovery, and I do want to. I do have something I have to admit, Jerry, and I'm not feeling too excited about this, but I got on the scale, and since November, and I knew I kind of plateaued, but I went from 190 to 192.4.
Oh no!
So I gained a couple. Thank you for your support. Oh no!
Oh no! You talk about it's normal weight fluctuation, probably.
Probably, I know.
If you're weighing yourself once a month, yeah, that's not bad, dude.
Yeah, I wasn't
2
too
pounds, yeah.
devastated because, like, I feel like I've gotten, like, I know what to do. I know where I've let myself slide and slip and eaten too much and not done enough output and had too much input, right?
Right.
So,
but I mean, there's gonna be a normal weight fluctuation. You always fluctuate between 2 to 5 pounds. Yeah.
Really?
Like whether or not if you drink too much water, that weighs. If you don't take a dump, that weighs. If you don't pee, that weighs.
Huh.
If you eat a lot of salt, the night before, you get more bloated. You retain more water, that weighs more.
So
you're always fluctuating. I fluctuate now between 150 and 155. I go up and down.
Huh. Okay.
But you know what's funny, man? If we're gonna talk about
salty dumps.
I guess.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Saltiest dump in the world. That was my name all through school.
So.
A lot of people I know, when they first got sober, they lost a shitload of weight. They lost 30, 40 pounds. They go on Reddit. Someone's like, I lost 60 pounds. I lost no fucking weight in my first few years of recovery. Nothing. I weighed the same. I did not lose any weight. I lost bloating in my face and stuff, but even now I look back on those pictures when I was heavier and I was still bloated in my face just from salt and crap. I did not, and I was really resentful of that I did not lose the weight. It didn't go away.
Huh.
I was just fat and sober.
I was the same way. I was exactly the same way, man. I thought that I thought that the fucking sky was going to open up and I was going to become, I was going to start looking like Brad Pitt in Fight Club.
Man, I expected it all to get better, and some of it got better in small increments. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if this is the right, venue in which to say that it doesn't all get better right in the beginning. You got to really work at it. I guess we've been saying that now for the past few years, though. But yeah, man, I really expected everything to level out, and it did in some ways, and it didn't in others. And the weight thing was most deaf. I was still a big fat guy.
Me too. Me too. I mean, I've always been chubby. I was looking, so I was going. I'm over my limit on my like iCloud storage or something, and I'm not interested in paying for more. So I'm like, I'll just go through and delete a bunch of pictures. And
I don't
just
know how to
haven't.
do that.
I'm learning very quickly. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to spend $10 a month or something, whatever the fuck Apple wants me to spend. But, and there was pictures of my trip to go see you when we came up to see you in 2016.
Yeah.
So that would have been about a year after I got sober, and we were both big. You had a mustache too, like just a straight up,
just that mustache, yeah.
But I remember I'm looking at these pictures and I'm going, damn, both of us were like carrying. I mean, I had an extra 80 pounds.
50 extra
50,
pounds.
60?
50, yeah.
50?
Yeah, about 50, 55 extra pounds, yeah.
And like it doesn't even, it's so weird to look back and think that was the way that was fine. I mean, I guess, we were all doing the best we could, but like, Jesus.
But I mean, it rolls its parallel along with alcoholism too. It's just like when you got fucked up every day, you thought that was fine too. And I know that this one in particular some people may not relate to this one at all because they're just like, yo, man, I'm just trying to get through the fucking day. And y'all are talking about calories and shit. Like, who the fuck cares, But it's important though. It's part of the regiment, I guess. It's definitely important to our journey of recovery.
Hey, man.
In hand here.
It's like I like to say, half marathons availed us nothing.
Right. Is that what you said? That's some pretty good. God, that's such a niche. That's like recovery and running humor.
Yeah,
like,
half marathons availed us
One guy
nothing.
is in his living room right now clapping. One dude.
Right? One dude.
He's like, that's pretty fucking spicy right
That's
there.
my man right there.
Right there. Mwah.
I thought about that. I was out running this afternoon. I was like, yes,
Jesus
this is going to be
Christ.
so good.
You gotta throw one in now for the RC car enthusiast, and I think
yeah.
we'll just fucking nail all the boxes. But no,
yes.
it is definitely a niche thing, right? It's I don't know. It's one of those things that I guess it's because it interests both of us. I think you take I think you take a different type of interest in it than I do, though. I think we both approach it in very different ways, but we're still getting very similar results.
So, and this is why I wanted to talk to you. So we started this podcast in 2018, I think. So July of 2018, somewhere in that spring, we were still talking before we started recording. We were doing our weekly thing. And I think that's when you said, I'm going to start counting my calories.
Yeah.
But you were not doing any exercise.
None. Not in the beginning. No.
Not in the beginning. But you said, I'm just going to eat whatever it was. It probably was like 2,000 calories a day or something. Or
they had cut me down to like, in the beginning, I was cut down to 1,700 in a day, coming from like 3,000 a day,
So you did that. And what was the crux? Like, so you're sober for 2.5, 3 years. And you're like, I'm fine. I'm just done being fat.
Yeah. That was, honestly, the crux was that my heart, every time I bent over, I would get lightheaded and almost faint.
Sorry, it's not funny, but it's funny.
And that was back when I was smoking cigarettes too, so it was even worse.
Shit.
Like I couldn't tie my shoes without almost passing out. And then I quit smoking, and then it got a little better. But then I would like mow the lawn, and my heart rate would be up so high, and it would just be this. I don't know, man. I would just like look at my body and be like, man, like really, is this is how you've been your whole fucking life, like. I don't know what it was, but there wasn't like this moment. I didn't have like an aha moment of clarity. I just decided one day just to see what would happen. And then I just kept, it's just like fucking recovery. I just stuck with the discipline. I just said, I'm only going to eat this much every day, this many calories. And then I started going online and figuring out what I could eat that could make me full that was low in calories, which was like leafy greens and cucumbers and pickles and ham. Do you know what I mean? Like pork and chicken, like the real light meats and stuff. And then I was like, oh, I feel way less hungrier if I eat more protein. And then at some point I was like, well, I want to still do things or eat snacks. So then I realized that if I worked out, I could at least have like, I mean, even now the amount of calories I'm burning, I'm really only allowed a donut. You know what I mean? It's like 300 calories a day or something. Right. But still, it's that little extra... I don't know. You just learn to adapt. But there was just that was the change. The big catalyst was I was just tired of having heartburn. I was tired of like almost fainting every time I tied my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like I was tired of being out of breath. I was just tired of looking at myself and being like, man, you're like, just, I don't know, man. Just being like, can I get that shirt in a large? You know, and then going to see a concert and they had no larges left and being like, maw, you know.
So you couldn't get the extra large because it was just way too big, and then the medium was fucking like a kid's
too
shirt.
tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you, man. It's like wearing clothes is completely different for me now. I mean, just you talk about putting on shirts and stuff, and I was a double XL guy, and it was mostly just to kind of like billow over my gut and the like the side. And now I'm like putting on a medium, and I'm feeling good about it. Like it feels
Feel a little breezy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like a ghost.
Yeah, man. Well, a little bit. I do. It feels like it fits, like clothes fit. Like I go, oh, so this is what it means to like get a pair of jeans and have them fit properly around what is actually my waist versus riding below my gut.
Right.
Because that's how I would wear my jeans before, because the gut had to be comfortable and be out there.
Well, yeah, you couldn't like belt up over your gut. You know what I mean? Like get the belt up over your gut, because then there was just all that. There's all that air under the fupa.
Mm-hmm. The fupa, yeah.
Yeah.
But my diet was when I was drinking was horrible.
Yeah, of course. Mine was. Remember, we used to buy Italian food from a liquor store.
So yes, that
was just you and I hanging out. So I don't even know what you're up to when I wasn't around. You know.
Exactly. I think there was. I had a picture somewhere, and I was like making us pasta on one of these trips that you came down to visit, because you were threatening to take us to Denny's in a cab at like, I don't know, 5 or 6 in the morning or something.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, don't go to Denny's. I got in
we
trouble
don't need to
there.
go to Denny's. Yeah. We'll never need to leave the house again.
You'll stay here forever.
Here's some ragu with tuna in it.
Basically,
black olives. Yeah.
Basically, but the thing that I see the difference between you and I as far as the food, because for me, you seem to have your relationship with food seems better than mine, and I'll explain to you. Mm-hmm. You're able to, like, I don't even think about fucking with like Doritos or things like pieces of cake. I know you do. Okay. So I wouldn't even have a bag of Doritos in my house because I wouldn't be able to count out 9 and then just be done with it.
Yeah.
So I feel like I may go at it a little bit differently, but I'm still have those behavioral issues with things like popcorn and grapes. Even if the food has changed, I don't feel as comfortable as you do around the shit. At least yet.
Right.
You know?
I've learned to bargain with myself a lot though, where I'm like, yeah, I'll like fuck around with a cupcake at lunch and be like, well, like tonight's dinner is going to be a salad with tuna and you can't have any ice cream. Maybe you can have an apple. You know what I mean? Like I've learned to compromise with myself. What my relationship with food, I don't think was the same as yours though. Well, of course it wasn't. We're two different people, but
no, I don't think it was either.
But yeah, I counted out 15 Doritos today because that's the serving size, and ate 15 Doritos, and then I'm like, okay, I think I'm okay.
That's what
I did drink a Coke, 150. Yeah, I drank a Diet Coke today though, which is the first one I've had in like 4 weeks.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was delicious. Yeah. I was like, man, I want 4 more because my fucking stupid alcoholic brain is like that shit like that. I'll overdo it with stuff like that, or like water. I can't just drink normal water. It's always gotta taste like something, even if I squirt a little stevia in it or a tiny bit of Crystal Light, make my night with Crystal Light. There's always got to have like a taste to it. I can't just drink plain water. I hate it.
Ever, never.
But
I've squeezed lemon in. Mine.
I mean, I can. I do it like after a workout. I'll pound a bunch of water. Like if I go on a run or like today when I lifted weights, I drank a thermos of water afterwards. But no, like if I'm hanging out the house, it's my day off like today, and I'm sitting here recording things, and I'm like, I'm gonna get like, some powdered like iced tea mix or something that has low calories and mix it in with my water just because I just can't handle like normal water. It's just so boring to me. Yeah, and I never like juice. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. But yeah, I think my relationship with food, I don't know. I think maybe you were a little more compulsive with food.
Yes.
Like you'd get a bag of chips and mash the whole bag
Yes.
down, you know, and just watch TV and next thing you know the bag's gone. Whereas like even when I was overeating, I wouldn't eat the whole bag. I would eat like half the bag or a quarter of the bag and then put it back, you know. But
when you
I don't know, man.
do you ever feel like the program that you used in, you know, dealing with your alcoholism, like did you apply any of those things to food and fitness? Because I know that for me that was one of the things that sparked it, was in the 12 steps, and it says practice these principles in all your affairs. And I went, oh, I can use this for something else.
Yes.
Did that ever
I
occur
did
to
the
you?
same thing. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. And I feel like almost in a way we have a weird food sponsorship with each other where we're being kind of slightly accountable. Not too much, because I'll call you up and be like, I fucked up a cake last night.
Right.
You know, but I'll like you said, I'll only have a slice. I won't eat the entire thing, because if I eat half a cake, I'll get sick to my stomach anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Even now, if I like overeat or I indulge, like I feel full. Like I just stop now when I feel full, because I feel like, and I've eaten past the point of feeling full in the past few months and just felt really uncomfortable. But that being said, yes, I've definitely used the program, that discipline within the program in this aspect of my life. And there's also the fear of relapse is really big with me. You know, within alcoholism, and not alcoholism as much, but with my food, I really fear relapse. Like in as far as like getting back up to that weight again is concerned. That's like really a tangible thing for me. Like, and I don't know if it's body dysmorphia or what, but I tell my wife all the time, like, I don't want to go back there again. And she's like, that's 50 pounds. You really have to work at it. And I'm like, bitch, watch me work. Like, like, have you met me? Like, if I can overdo it, I absolutely will, because I love to, you know?
Let's go get some Philly cheesesteaks.
Do you know what I mean? Like, all I need is a couple of nacho nights, and I never even liked sweets anyway until I got sober. I didn't eat any candy till I stopped drinking booze.
That's crazy to me. I used to eat it all the time. I love it.
Oh, I hated candy because I got all the sugar from liquor. So I was like, what the fuck do I need candy for, you know?
Yeah. But the steps, like that first one about, I don't know if I went through the 12 steps exactly, but the first one was like, it's unmanageable. Like my life is unmanageable with food the way that it is now. Like that was a no-brainer. That instantly was like, I can't keep this up. I would eat myself sick. I've told you I'd eat ice cream until I puked up in the back of my throat, like fall asleep.
Yeah, which is not my experience at all. I would just eat ice cream until I was like, okay, I've had enough. Like this is good. But alcohol, I mean, I would drink. Well, I'm here, right? So yeah, exactly.
And I think the other one, the thing that I learned from you was basically inventory, right? So you're supposed to take you take an inventory, and that was the thing with the calorie counting app, which it's My Fitness app or My Fitness Pal, the Under Armour one.
I still use it. I use it every day. I'm using it right now. I can tell you how many calories I've eaten today. I think I'm like at 1,100 to 1,200.
What are you at right now? So tell me. I'm just curious.
Some fucking kick-ass podcasting. 1,190.
Nice.
With an extra 500 for exercise right now.
Yeah, I'm at 888 with 525 for exercise. But that was the thing that my inventory was. I remember the first day. I mean, I have it logged in where I just didn't change a goddamn thing, and I ate the way that I ate, and it was like 6,000 calories in a day.
Yeah, and you were like, "What the fuck?"
And
I remember trying to log in a burrito. The first second day, I tried to eat a burrito, and I was like, 800 calories for a fucking burrito. Jesus Christ, that's all of it. That's like more than half of what I have to eat today. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. But I just come in under. I ate a lot of rice cakes, bro. I don't anymore. Mm-hmm. Because now it's like moderation. And that's the one thing in my life I've learned to moderate is with food. Yeah. Soda, not really. Like me fucking with these Diet Cokes, I'm like a little worried that I'll be back at the Safeway again next week buying a 30-pack, being like, yeah, we riding. But maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, that's besides the point. I guess it's very interesting to be able to use aspects of this program in other parts of my life, you know?
Yeah.
It's been really, really valuable.
I can't stress it enough that that's what it's been. That's what it's taken. It's like bits and pieces of it. The only person I've had to make amends to are myself, with like,
Right.
I'm really sorry that I overate.
Right.
I'm really sorry that I allowed
Mm-hmm.
this kind of. But I just looking back at pictures, and it just blows me away that was like, part of me wants to say, how come nobody ever told me? And it's like you can't.
Well, I mean, they're all probably a lot of people are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the new norm now. Really.
Yeah, I see it a lot.
Yeah. Which is fine. I'm not mad at these people. That's their life. That's their fucking path to take. But it's a culture we live in, man.
And I don't think I don't think shaming anybody for being overweight is helpful. I mean, I know that as somebody
not
who
at all, man.
even a year ago was well overweight and obese, I had plenty of shame and embarrassment without having to hear
Right,
from
you don't need
somebody
someone
else.
else telling you because it's a problem. I have always disdained that. Actually, I've been an asshole about it in the past. I've been like that fat fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I've used it as an adjective, but I've never disliked someone for being overweight. But I've definitely described people for being overweight, like been mad at them and been like, you fat fuck, But I've never been like, I'm mad at you because you're overweight. And I know people who get mad at other people for being overweight and they're overweight themselves. And I'm like, dude, like you already know how hard it is for you. Like, I guess the parallels to alcoholism are really, and addiction in general are really, really close because people will fucking get all over your shit for being a drunk, and being like, well, it's all your fault. Like, you chose it. It's just like being overweight. Like, you chose it. Not understanding, like, the complex fucking compulsion that lays underneath all of it. Yeah. Like, what's that old Irish proverb? It's like a man takes a drink takes a drink, and then the drink takes a man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, maybe you chose that first point of action that started the whole fucking dominoes to topple, But once the dominoes start toppling, it's out of your control.
Yeah.
You just gotta wait till it ends. There's nothing to do there.
So my next question is, when you start counting your calories and you start to realize how many calories were in the food that you were eating, say like your burrito, like what changes? Yeah, like you're like an 800, because I know if I get a veggie burrito and I don't get any cheese and I don't get any cream, and then it's just beans, rice, tortilla.
Still the tortilla though, dude.
The tortilla's a lot, but it's like it goes
like 200.
Yeah, it goes upwards of like, and it depends on between 500 and 600, right, for a veggie burrito.
Right.
But what changes did you start to make? Like, what changes between like what you ate before? Like, work lunch and shit like that. Like, lunch would just be whatever you could grab, right?
Right. Well, I make time for work lunch. I still don't bring lunch to work, though. I go out. I eat out, but now it's more... I'm not going to eat a hamburger. It'll be more like a salad. Like a lean protein with a vegetable. Or I'll do like a Thai curry, and I'll literally measure out half a cup of rice, throw the rest of the rice away, and just eat all the chicken out of the curry with a little bit of the sauce. Do you know what I mean? Like, because that's where they get you, is with all the rice or the tortilla or the bread, or they'll all order hamburgers, and I'll be like, get me a chicken burger, don't get me a bun.
Right.
Like wrap it in lettuce. And I used to clown people for that shit, and now I'm like, yeah, bro, but I can see my own dick now, so I'm doing great.
I just don't want to eat the bun. It's true. I know.
I know. I'm like, enjoy your bun, make fun of me, but I could totally see my wiener. So high five to myself.
Let's talk about that for a brief second. I don't want to talk
sex. You want to talk about recovery and sex? Nah.
No, I don't necessarily. That
I was like, nah.
There are aspects of my body that I couldn't see or fully see before.
Right, like your feet.
Like my feet.
Not to be rude, I'm just saying, like your foot. You're like, that's my entire foot. Yeah. Like,
Oh,
my whole damn foot. Whoa, my hip bones. Remember we were talking about laying down at night and you could feel that weird protuberance under your sternum, and you're like, what is that? And
I
you're
thought
like,
it was
that's
cancerous.
it's where your ribs meet. It's just your sternum. But I've never felt that. Or I'd lay on my side and be able to feel like the curve of my hip and be like, oh, right. It just does. I'm just not a tube anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm an actual person. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, people who are tubes are actual people too. I mean, there's careful water to tread here because I don't want to be offensive to anyone,
Neither do I. And I just want to say that if you and I are joking together, it's not directed at
We're fucking with each other, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we've seen each other do awful things. So,
So I mean, I don't have any any shame toward anybody else. I have had, even being obese, I've had resentment towards people who are overweight because of
Same
my own,
here.
but that's all on me, and that was just my own personal how I felt about myself and projecting it on other people.
Right.
You know.
And if you think about it, we both spent the majority of our lives overweight.
Yes.
The majority of my life I've spent overweight.
I would say 90%, 99% of my life.
99% of my life as well. I've spent, well, no, that's not true. Maybe a good 80%. Because I was thin in high school.
Yeah.
I didn't start gaining weight till I moved out of my mom's house and started drinking 40s every day and eating 39-cent hamburger stands. Jesus. Which they don't have those anymore, but
No.
you know.
But
No.
it's just so I don't want to shame anybody, and I don't, but I also I can't, as somebody who just recently lost this much weight, I can't tell you enough how good it feels and how much, like, I think even in, I feel so much better. Like, this is the way that I'm supposed to be. And I can't speak for everybody. And I'm not saying that, carrying weight, I see people who do very athletic things who carry a lot of weight, and that's good and great and fine. And I think that you should do whatever feels good. I just know that when I was 270 pounds, and I was really grateful that I was still able to walk when I could walk, when I started to run, that I could actually do it a little bit. And I think that you should be grateful for your body, right? Like that it's
right.
healthy, that you can move. But I have never felt as good as I do now.
Same here. Yeah.
Like
pretty much. Yeah.
I had to wait until my mid 40s to go wow.
Well, I think it goes hand in hand with getting sober, because once you realize that living life in this aspect was unmanageable, and then you get out of that and now you're here and you're like, but this is unmanageable as well. Am I going to give up the thing that made me happier and more upset? You know what I mean? Happier and sadder than anything in the world. Am I going to give up this weird thing just to still feel uncomfortable? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the way I looked at it. Because alcohol was my end all be all. Alcohol was this is what I was here for. I was here to drink. I'm here to fucking get fucked up. And so once that was gone and I was done being, you know what I mean? Excited and miserable all at once. I was like still kind of miserable and uncomfortable. And I was like, man, I got to still keep feeling this way. I don't have to if I don't want to,
You have the tools, right? So now it's hard.
I have some tools, yeah.
It's hard to look back. It's like your dad would say, or, anybody would say, is like, well, be careful with that AA. It'll really ruin your drinking.
Right.
And then you start to apply whatever program you use on a regular basis that develops habits and positive ways of living and thinking, regardless of what program it is. And then you go, oh, I can apply this to something else, right? Am I just going to keep eating miserably and feeling uncomfortable and sitting there? I remember I don't have a mirror in my bedroom, but my girlfriend has one that sits across from the bed. And I would sit on my side of the bed, and I would kind of just sit up. And when you're overweight and you're sitting up on the side of the bed, the edge of the bed with no shirt on, and there's a mirror just to your right, like to your side, and I would just see this pile of flesh like cascading down from my fucking chest, my man boobs, and this gut would just sort of like Jabba the Hutt all the way down, and I'd be like, and I would just feel sad, and I'd feel sorry for myself, and I go, gosh, I'm never going to get out of this, am I? This is just it. And I would have this moment and that's just like starting the day.
Right. Good morning.
Good morning, right?
You're here forever. Yeah, remember, you're here forever.
That's the Simpsons one, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Remember, that's just,
so
you're just looking at your like wall-eyed tits. Like your boobs are just staring out in two different directions. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that for me, not you, but I also remember that on you as well.
So I really felt like this is it. This is where I'm at, and this is what I'm gonna do. And like 3 years into sobriety, it took me to like figure something out. And if had you not done it first, you were the front runner here, Jerry. You were the fucking trailblazer, whether you want to believe it or not. It's just the factual truth that you did these things first, and then I just took what you had done and applied it to my own life.
Well, so what do you do now? Do you run every day?
I run almost every single day. In the last 3 to 4 months, I've developed some pain, some pretty regular pain in my left buttock, my left thigh muscle, but I run almost every single day.
Do you run the same route?
No.
Do you have like 5 different routes you run, or no? It's just
Yes.
different every single day.
I have like five or six different routes, and then I have these little parks I go and I'll drive a couple of times. I'll like drive out somewhere if I'm getting bored.
And you don't really lift weights very often, like not on a regular basis. Just
No, but
every once in a while.
I do it every morning, but I only do like a quick. I'll do like just to
Like a
wake up.
warm up?
I just do a warm up and then I'm done, and I don't do anything.
And do you
else.
stretch before you run, or no?
I just recently started doing a little bit of yoga. It's true. Only in the last like
I love that you haven't been stretching. You just fucking open the door and just run for your fucking life. Jesus Christ.
that's what
wonder
I
why you
did
have
for the
pain.
last year, last 9
Gotta
months.
stretch a little bit. I would imagine. I stretch for like 20 minutes before I run, and I only run 3 miles.
Oh,
Well, but I stretch. I also have a 15-20 minute stretch routine before I even lift weights because I tattoo, so my back is so fucked up, and I don't want to fuck my back up again. So I started stretching because of that. Anyway, I'm not trying.
No,
to
it's
stretch
okay,
shame,
but that's
in my mind I thought you had like a whole dynamic routine. I've got some shit I can send you.
I do
Well, yeah,
little
but
heel stretches like against the wall sometimes, or I've got a couple of steps outside the house, and I'll like put one foot on the top step and one on the bottom and kind of like stretch it out. But usually I
Right.
just fucking go. I just open the door and put my shoes
Oh
on.
man, I do arm swings. I do these weird hip flexors where you put your hands on your hips and you do the squat on one side, on each side, so you're like rocking your butt cheek out like back and forth.
Can we get some video of this? You should put that on. You got to start a TikTok account for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, just me like hip flexing my squats.
I'm telling you, it's Old Town Road. That's where it's at. So I do now, and I have learned a few different stretches. And what I like to do is I stretch out there. Once I get out there, once I'll do like a half a mile, and then I'll bend down and I'll touch my toes with my knees bent, and then I'll try and straighten my legs out and do stuff like that. And I'll do stretches out, like if I come across a patch of grass, like sometimes I'll sit and I'll stretch like cross-legged or something like that, or I'll do like a downward dog really quick,
Yeah,
things
those
like
are good
that.
for you.
Dynamic
To get back
stretching.
to you were doing downward dogs on a patch of grass in a park.
Yeah, or like on the side of the road next to the donut shop or something.
Just on
like
the
that.
side of the road, just in the parking lot of a donut.
Yeah.
Just doing some D dogs, huh?
So I'll do some D dogs,
Not
or
bad.
like I've gotten to the point. I didn't always do this, but now like if I see like a bus bench, I'll do some fucking push-ups, like right there on the bus bench.
I love it. The world is like your gym. You're like, fuck, I enjoy a gym. The world is my gym. Just
Right.
doing pull-ups at a street sign. Just
Uh-huh.
wow.
I was running one time, and this was last summer, and it was like fucking 6 or 7 miles, and I was sweaty and I was hot and I was soaked, and I didn't have my shirt off, and I came across the gas station, and they had like the water pump that you get on the side where you fill up, and I was just drinking and like hosing myself off and like drinking
Wow.
the water, like
Which is a total drunk John move from back in the day, but
right. So
right. So
that's kind of what I do these days.
it's crazy though because you approach the way you eat the same way though. It's kind of this freestyle way of doing it where like everything I do is really regimented. Like I work out, I lift 3 days a week and I run 2 days a week. I stretch for every time. I do the exact same lifting routine. I have it written out on a piece of paper in front of my TV. I have it like on my TV stand because I usually will watch YouTube when I work out or I listen to a podcast. And it's like my goal in my mind is, okay, I'm going to do this workout routine, but I'm going to try to burn at least 300 calories each time I work out and at least 400 each time I run. And so then I'll go through the workout, like the list, and like I'll have like a necklace or a little piece of Velcro, and I'll just move it down every time I do the exercise. You know what I'm saying? So like everything to me is like structured. It's very, in my sobriety, I've become incredibly structured. Like, it's really weird, man. There's a lot of weird discipline and structure there for me. Like it's the same stretch every time, and
which you were in some ways structured with drinking, where you would have you had a lot of rules about when you would.
Man, so many rules.
And I think that I was not quite as.
You're a wild card. You're Charlie Kelly, dude.
I was just.
You're just Charlie Kelly, dude. You're just.
I'd wake up
Just
and
a
be like,
pocket
I don't
full
have
of
to work for a
sausages?
couple days.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, there's Budweiser's at 8 a.m. I'll just fucking drink until I feel like taking a nap, and then
Yeah, you're gonna blaze that path, dude. You know, whereas I was like every day 5 o'clock. Sometimes 5 o'clock comes at 2, but usually it's at 5. You
Right.
know, like Yeah. Don't drink before work. Never work if you're drinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go to the hospital more than 3 times and you're drinking, you gotta go to AA, Jerry.
So don't go to the hospital that third time.
Right, exactly. Just tape the shit together and you'll be all right. You know?
Yeah. And so, but you also, like, with your food, you haven't really changed any style of eating. Like, you still eat meat. You still eat snacks. Like, you'll eat, like you said, you have your 15 Doritos and that's it.
Right. I haven't even cut out sugar, really. I just eat it in moderation. No, I haven't gone vegetarian. I haven't gone vegan. I haven't gone sugar-free. I haven't gone caffeine-free. Although sometimes I get curious about going vegetarian because I love vegetarian food.
Huh. Do you how do you not, or how do you moderate sugar? Like, you don't. No, what I mean, like, you don't. But I mean, like, how
I don't.
do you?
But I haven't had a normal Coke in like probably 8 months.
Mm-hmm. So you
like,
just,
so it was like, and I don't put sugar in my coffee. I put like stevia in my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But like the sugar I'll eat will be like a little bit, like half a cup. I'll eat a half a cup ice cream. That's all I'll eat. You know.
Okay.
Or like, and a lot of the sugar I get now is natural sugar, so I'm not craving the refined shit because I'll eat every morning. I drink a smoothie that's full of fruit.
Right.
And then, it's full of berries and fruit and shit. And then for my snack, I bring an apple and an orange to work every day. And I peel the orange and eat it, and then I eat the apple. So then I have all this natural kind of slow burning sugar. And then if I really want sugar, the guy who works next to me has a jar of Jolly Ranchers, and I'll take 2 of those and eat 2 of those.
I appreciate you telling us that you peel the orange, because I didn't want to think
I do
otherwise.
peel the orange.
Instead of just
but I do
biting.
start it off by biting into it, though, which trips people out. Because I don't like get my fingernails. I'll just bite a hunk of it out and spit it out. I like all the little pip in the orange. I don't know what that white flesh. Pith. I eat all the pith. I love it. Pith. I get pithed off.
Pithed off. And you don't. But okay, I am impressed that you stick to it, because I have gone over.
Well, I know that Rashida doesn't fuck with sugar at all.
No, she doesn't. My girlfriend doesn't.
And now you don't either, really. You don't either as well.
So
right?
Here's something else that's happened in the last few months. So I was cleaning out cupboards and shit like that, and I found like this old bag of brown sugar. And I was like, I don't add sugar to a lot of things, but I was like, well, instead of me going and buying another jar of the stevia, which I do too, or the Truvia or whatever, I was like, I'll just put a little brown sugar in my coffee, and I'll just use this bag up and be done with it. Or I made some beans, and I was like, I'll put a tablespoon of brown sugar in the beans. So I'm measuring it, I'm counting it, everything's fine. But maybe that has been part of the weight gain, is that I have been adding sugar where I wasn't before, even if I was staying under my calories, and some days I wasn't. And I also changed up on the calorie app, and it was giving me an extra few hundred calories a day.
That's probably part of it too, though. And I noticed I got weight gain when it told me, "Oh, you can maintain now. Here's an extra 200," and I was like, dude, because I gained after that.
And that's what I think happened, is it told me I could maintain, or that I didn't need to restrict myself so much, because I said, oh, well, this is how much I weigh, and I'm much more active than I ever was.
Right.
And so I was just like, that doesn't work. So I was adding sugar. I had a few extra 100 calories a day, and I was running less because it was fucking cold outside.
Right, and you had probably injured yourself once or twice because you're not stretching.
There you go. So
because you're just D-dogging it in the Waffle House parking lot. That's so fucking funny to me, dude.
That's what I do. That's what I do. Or like if I find, I don't know if I've done. I don't do like sit-ups, but I'll do push-ups. I'll do stretches. I'll I totally like just get in with whatever's going on around me. But it's more fun that way than just like running.
No, because to you it's like this organic kind of expression, and I think I actually envy that, because that's the way you approach it. The way you approach it seems more fun than my regimented, like twice a week I need to get this cardio in by running, and I have like the same 5 routes that I'll run, and I get tired of them after a while. But the thing is, I don't really drive anywhere, and I'm like near all these trails. Yeah. But it's just the same. I always do a circular route. I don't like to double back very often, so it'll always be in a circle. Or if I do double back, there's one route I double back, but every other route's a circle. And the double back route is like my simple, quick. Like I need to get 3 miles in. I don't have time to fuck around. Like tomorrow's my day off, I'll run. I'll like take the longer route because I can't. I don't have to go to work. You know, I don't have to get ready.
What's the
Anyway,
longest that you go?
I like 4 miles.
Yeah.
4.5 miles. I don't run that much. I don't run that far because by the time I'm hitting 4.5 miles, I'm bored. Like I'm ready to go home.
Right.
Like I'm not like exploring. Like maybe when the weather gets nicer, I enjoy it more. But when the weather's garbage like this, I don't like it. On nicer days, it's a lot. There's more people out there too, and that's another thing I've noticed about this running culture that I really like is most people are really friendly. Like if I run by someone at 8:30 in the morning and we pass each other, they almost always say good morning. You know,
They don't flip you off.
no, they're like fuck you, get off my trail.
Yeah.
You know, the left is for passing, motherfucker. You know, like no, and it's mostly older people walking their dogs and shit. And they're like good morning. And I'm like good morning, motherfuckers. You know.
Do you go out with like headphones or do you just go out?
I wear earbuds. Yeah, I
Earbuds?
listen to podcasts. Yeah, sometimes music, but I the music. It's hard for me because I want to run to the tempo of the music, and sometimes it's too fast, and then I get really beat up. So I like listening to political podcasts and then feeling crappy about my life. So I have to like switch over to serial killer podcasts, which make me feel less crappy.
Yeah, I have a like a 6-hour playlist called Let's Run. And so I just put it on shuffle so that they're all the same songs, but they're all in different
But
order.
similar tempo, you're probably doing like 80 to 100 BPM
Well, see,
probably.
I switch it up. So like, We Didn't Start the Fire by Billy Joel is one of them. And so
Yeah, that's kind of fast.
during the verse part where he's like, Red China, Ronnie Ray, and I'll kind of just, Dylan, Berlin, and I go with that. Invasion. And then when the chorus kicks in, that's when I fucking blow the doors off and I'll sprint for like 15, 20 seconds.
Oh, really?
And We Didn't Start the Fire. And then I slow it back down with the verse. So I kind of go with the tempo of whatever song is playing.
I like I said, you go out in Napa, like you go out into these trails in the hills and shit, and like I don't really do that a lot in Eugene. Like there's a really nice Rexius Bark Trail that runs along the slough here, the slough, right? So I get to run along a slough, but but there's part of it where I run through neighborhoods and like look at the houses and wonder about the people in their lives and them getting up for breakfast. You can smell them because as soon as Olive's out the door at 8:30, I'm out the door by like 8:45, 9 running, because I need to be back here by 10:30 to get ready to get on the bus by 11,
Right.
so I can go and tattoo everybody.
So here's another thing. I like the trails, but I also do like going where people are and people have been. I like to see sort of like the human artifacts on the ground, like the trash, or like see, whether it's graffiti or people's houses or how they decorate their front yards and stuff like that. And I do the same thing where I'm like, oh, I wonder what goes on in there and what's up with that. And sometimes I've done this. I don't do this a lot, but sometimes I'll pick up I'll see a stick or something and I'll run with the stick and then bring it home. So I just have a big ass stick in my hand.
Yeah, you're just this wild man listening to Billy Joel swinging his stick around. See, and if you're listening to this podcast, this is what recovery. This is like one of the gifts of recovery is you just jam out to Billy Joel and wave a stick in a neighborhood.
Basically, yeah, it'd be me.
And you don't go to jail for it.
You don't go to jail for it, right? Yeah, if I did that drug,
yeah, you'd go to jail. They would make you go to jail. They'd make you. They'd put you in adult timeout. Yeah.
So
they'd make you. They'd come and get you.
It really is. I mean, honestly, I can't tell you what a fucking gift like the running has been to me.
Right.
I started this thing counting the calories. Well, first I just started by walking, and I was like, yeah, maybe I'll walk a mile. And then I was like, ugh, this sucks, because I was like 270 pounds, 272 or 274, whatever. And I hated it, and I did it for August, September, October. And like for 3 months, I remember one time like walking 2 miles one way, and I was like, fuck, dude, I gotta walk 2 miles back the other way. This sucks.
Yeah, what a bitch, dude.
Because I didn't go in a circle.
That shit.
I just went one way, and then I can't, and now I've started, and this is from that Mishka Shubaly book that I read about him, becoming a long distance runner after being an alcoholic. There was one called The Long Run, which later got part of it got incorporated into his novel. I Swear I'll Make It Up to You. And that was the moment. There was a day in like February or March, somewhere when I was dealing with the ice cream crisis of like not trying to count my calories all day long so I could crush like 2 pints of Halo Top.
So much ice cream.
It's a lot of ice cream. And I just remember listening to his book while I was walking, and I was like, I'm going to start running. And I ran as fast and as far as I could, and I started to
Damn
cry.
near died.
Yeah.
Of course you did, because you fucked yourself all up. Like,
you know, but it was like this really physical and emotional thing, and I was like, this is what I need to do, I think. And then I just started from there, and that was like less than a year ago, or maybe that was about a year ago that I started doing that stuff. And like, it's such a gift. Like, you know, we say it a lot, and I mean, we tend to be a little sarcastic about it, but like, holy shit, man, like, I lost 80 pounds in a year from running, less than a year.
Yeah, that's significant. Yeah, it is.
So I mean, I
have a really good friend who's trying to lose weight right now, and I check up on her a lot, and I try to be really encouraging with her, and she'll be like, oh, I only lost like 10 pounds. And I'm like, that's fucking huge. Badass, though. Like, I'm really proud of you. That's a big deal. You need to you can keep going. You just got to keep doing it. And you can absolutely learn how to live with it. And then eventually you just enjoy it. You really do. And it's okay to fuck up every once in a while. Like, I fucked up yesterday. I went and had a chicken burger and fries, and then came home and ate a cupcake, and I didn't gain 50 pounds, you know. It reflected on my workout today. Like, I definitely worked out harder today than I normally would, but it's okay to fuck up every once in a while, you know. It's all right. You should be allowed that. Just don't overdo it when you fuck up. Fuck up a little bit and then get back into it again. Because eventually you will feel better. It's just better for you. It just helps you feel good about everything. Well, not everything.
Well, I've just
I mean, I don't want it, you know, like I said,
oversell it.
There's that fine line. I don't want to be like sitting in my room being like, oh yeah, all you got to do is this and that, and this is so fucking easy, when it's really hard for some people. And I understand that. Like, I'm empathetic to that. I was a person who was overweight. Like, I get it. It's hard to start. It's still hard to start. Even now, it's part of my routine. I still don't want to do it. I was just sitting here bitching even with the podcast. It's just hard to do sometimes. Like, I just don't want to do it. And then once I start doing it, I'm like, oh, right, I'm doing this. This is what I do. And sometimes you're miserable. Sometimes you're doing it and you're like, I hate every moment of this. But just get to the end. Or get to somewhere reasonable. You got to get to the end.
Yeah.
I like ran 2 miles the other day after being sick for 7 days. And I was really bummed that I didn't do the 3. And I'm going to try to do 3 tomorrow. But like, my lungs are still a little fucked up. So, but just do something. Yeah.
And you found something that you could do consistently. And this is the thing that I keep reading about and hearing about from people is find something that I can do consistently. So there was,
even if it's a little thing, right? Because some people don't have our schedules. They have a shitload of kids, and they have a fucking crappy job, and they have to take care of some other motherfucker. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to find that little thing in there somewhere.
This book that I just finished called Atomic Habits, and he was talking about that, and he said, try this. He said, make a habit of packing your gym bag and lay out the yoga mat and pack your gym bag, and that's it. And you just do that every single day. And at some point, you're going to be like, well, the yoga mat's out. I might as well try to do some yoga, or my gym bag is packed, or my running shoes are on, so I might as well go for a run. Or he was saying, if you go to the gym, like say, go to the gym and only go for 5 minutes. And like that seems fuck it, right? So go for 5 minutes, work out for 5 minutes, and then you're done. But what happens is you then get used to going to the gym every single day or every other day or whatever it is, even for 5 minutes, and you'll start going, oh, I'm here I might as well keep going. I might as well go for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And I remember when I first started working out, I wasn't running. I was on the exercise bike at the gym. And I remember thinking, God damn it, 30 minutes is so fucking long on this goddamn bike. I used to hate it. And the only reason I would do it is because it would give me, like, if I did it fast enough, it would give me 600 calories extra to eat. And so it was this struggle of like, I need to burn this many calories so I can eat this food because I want to eat this food because that's what I do is I eat this food. And so that was my identity. And in some ways it still is, man. Like, I still struggle with like fucking the food's a little bit different, you know, rice. Sometimes I'll do like rice and and I'll put some almond milk, and I'll put a little of that stevia and some cinnamon, and I'm eating like some sort of fucking cold porridge, like because I want
That's all
something
right,
sweet,
though.
like ice cream. That's what
Right.
I want, you know.
Right.
So I'm trying to recreate it, and it's a little bit better. It's better than the fucking Ben and Jerry's that I used to eat, but it's just
Right. It's
I'm
like
still
way better.
I'm still into those habits and behaviors. I still eat late at night. Even if I stay under the calories, like I'll get popcorn and I'll eat grapes or
But it's also what is manageable and what's reasonable to you. You know, I mean, if the habit or the behavior gets out of hand and then it starts being excessive and you're like, I can't live like this. But if it's these little tiny habits where it's like, okay, after 10, I'm still going to eat a little handful of popcorn here or eat an entire apple. Like, that shouldn't be anything you should punish yourself with because that's just human nature, man. Like, yeah, I mean, to you telling me, and I eat ice cream all the time, you telling me about the stevia and the rice sounds good as fuck, dude. Like, it does, because I love rice pudding, and I love cold rice grainy things like that, and I've done it too.
Yeah.
I've absolutely put, like, a little bit of almond milk and stevia and some rice, and then been like, I don't know. You know, and then, like, end up eating ice cream anyway, but...
right.
But it still sounds good. Like, all that stuff sounds good to me. I don't think we should deny. We should just moderate. And if we can't moderate, then maybe deny isn't the right word. It's just, maybe it's redirect
Yeah.
is the way we should be thinking about it. So instead of being like, I deny myself chips today, you're like, no, I just redirect myself to pickles.
A redirect.
You know?
Yeah. And little by little I get over the fact that I'm like, I need something crunchy, and I like put a little salt on a carrot and I fucking get over it. And you know, the craving, like the craving with alcohol, right? So the craving eventually does pass if I sit with it. If I go, God, you know what I really want right now? I really want I want some Rocky Road ice cream, or I want the one that has like the peanut butter pretzels in it where it's salty and it's creamy, and I'm like, okay, and then it passes and then I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then I don't want it anymore. And I've also found that if if I crave sweets, it just means that I'm dehydrated. So I need to go and drink a bunch of water. And so
Really?
that's something that I've found, that I've learned, is that if I'm craving sweets, it's oftentimes, and there's a lot, it's different for different people, right? But it's that I'm dehydrated. So I'll go and I'll drink a big ass glass of water. And find those things that I can do consistently to help me combat the cravings, sit with the cravings. And like you said, we talk about it all the time, fucking forgiving yourself for these minor transgressions, especially in recovery. Like,
Yeah,
dude, if you're going to eat the fucking donut, then eat the donut, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't fault anyone, like, at the meetings, but sometimes people want to, like, split a donut with me, and I just smile and I say, no, thank you. I thank you, but no thank you. And sometimes if people leave like those little cutie clementines on the table, I'll have one of those. And
those are good.
yeah. So, and I don't fault anybody. Like, I get it, man. It's a fucking struggle. I'm just glad that people showed up to the meeting. So have a donut, dude. And don't
Crush a donut. Even if you're out there right now and you're like, man, these two guys are talking about fitness and I'm just trying not to get fucked up. Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't get fucked up.
I'm just fitting this donut in my mouth, you know?
Yeah, just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's just so we're all about fitting this donut in our mouth.
And
but if what's keeping you sober out there right now is eating a ham, then eat the fucking ham.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Stay sober, and then first things first. First things first, you know?
So what used to keep me sober was the family-sized bag of peanut M&Ms. It was Ben and Jerry's ice cream from multiple.
And then you level up.
And then you level up.
Yeah,
and
you get new perk cards.
is that Fallout? Is that a Fallout reference?
That's all the outs. Fall out, fall in, fall over.
Fall over. That should be the fucking Sobercast Fallout. Yeah, this one's called Fall
Fallout.
Over.
Fall over, yeah.
What are they? Is it the Stim Pack or what's the rat?
That's
no,
the Stim Pack. Radaway, Rad-X.
no, what's the one that gets you all weird? What's the drug?
Psycho and Fury, and there's another one I can't think of off the top of my head. I haven't played Fallout in a while, though. I'm not playing anything right now, really, which kind of sucks, because I want to play something, but everything has been played. I've got a new one coming tomorrow, so we'll see if that's any
nice.
good.
What do you got?
Yeah, it's called Outer Worlds. It's by the...
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
it looks
the
cool.
developer that did Fallout New Vegas, so it's supposed to be the spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas in space.
The spiritual
so we'll see.
successor, huh?
Right, because it's or it's the spiritual sequel, because it's the same company that did Fallout New Vegas, which is one of my favorite video games. It's the same developers, so we'll see. We'll see.
Right
I get
on.
it tomorrow from Amazon. I was like, I'm putting this $40 here. I'm sorry, Megan. The electric bill can pay itself. I'm bored.
There you go.
Yeah.
Man, like I just those things I've leveled up with the things that keep me sober, and now I have this pretty. I mean, you could call it a compulsion to run. It's definitely something that I think about. Like early on when I started doing it, I would lay in bed and I would map out in my head like which route I wanted to take, and I would just
still kind of do that though.
I would imagine it and go like, yeah, I want to go there and there and there, and it really helped to kind of get excited about the next day.
Yeah.
And rather than be on my phone at night, or it helped with insomnia and stuff too. And in losing all this weight, like I don't snore anymore. I can fall asleep right away.
I don't snore anymore either.
Isn't that
It takes me a
weird?
while to fall asleep, but I don't snore anymore.
God.
I have always had sleep issues though, but they don't creep up as much as they used to. That's for damn sure, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to hurt
But
myself.
isn't it
all
weird
the
the
time.
snoring thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many benefits to not. I guess it's easy to think about the things that I'm depriving myself of, whether it be, and I don't feel that way anymore. But whether it's donuts or cheese or ice cream or
Yeah.
potato chips or whatever, but like it just feels so much better. I fucking ran 13 miles in the desert.
Right.
I still trip out about
John
that.
would have never have done that. Like 2005, John would have never have done that.
That would have been laughable. That would have been a joke. That would have been something that fucking dummies do.
We all would have totally mocked you for it. What are you gonna do? Go run a half marathon, huh, buddy?
Right? Like there would have been
You gonna have
no
a fucking massive heart attack in Joshua Tree there, John.
right? Like what?
Yeah.
And so it's such a better. I don't know, and I don't know that sort of negative reinforcement has never been something that's been good. I don't think for me, like, and
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever helpful with us, growing up and drinking together. I don't think that like if I wouldn't be like, hey, get out there, pussy. I want to see you out there. Let's do another
Some people
mile.
it works for, but you and I, we're sensitive boys, dude.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't work for us. We're sensy boys, dude. We got a lot of feelings.
I think there's nothing wrong with like lifting somebody up and being positive and being stern and being kind of tough, but I've just always felt the need for like positive reinforcement. Although
Yes.
I did find this, I found this like drill sergeant army marching like CD, or not CD but like album, and
Yeah.
so it's just this like. I don't know what I've been told. Pretty
You've been running to that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You're losing it. You're losing it.
It works, dude. It works. So
You find it on Spotify or something?
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
It's just rap remixes of Army chants?
No, if you just look up
The
like
LL Cool J comes out and does a verse?
that'd be awesome. NCIS, isn't he on that?
I
No,
thought that
I
was
think if you
IC.
just look up hard work like 160 BPM, and it'll keep you going, man. Like I plug it into my headphones and I start to chant along, and I just don't think about like what's in front of me or the miles. I just kind of chant along with the other guys.
I think it's designed for that, dude. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. I was out there one day and I just kept going, and I didn't worry about like, oh, my feet kind of hurt, or oh, I'm out of breath, and I wasn't bothered by any of it. So I don't know.
Well, that's weird, but cool.
I'll send it to you. I know you probably won't listen to it. Yeah, send it to me. I won't listen to it.
I'll give it a chance. I'll do it for 3 minutes and be like, what the fuck? And then go back to listening to a podcast about politics and feeling sad. When I could just be like, listening to songs about Eskimo pussy or whatever they're singing. They probably don't do that one. But
No,
yeah.
that one's not on
I
there.
think both those things I just said were offensive, but I didn't say that.
No,
The
didn't say
drill
that.
instructor said it.
Yes. So I think, I mean, if I were to say, hey, Jerry, like what do I do to lose, like I'm sober and I want to like lose some weight. Like what would be your advice to me?
I gave it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, but
Back
I mean,
in the day. Oh, well, you're asking. No, I know I'm being too literal now, but I would say what worked for me was counting my calories. Mm-hmm. Worked for me first was getting an app to count calories, eating normally for one day and logging every single one of those calories, and then seeing where I needed to make adjustments. You're not going to lose weight unless you're in a caloric deficit. So you're not going to lose weight unless you're burning more calories than you're taking in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like there has to be a deficit because their calories are fuel. So you got to burn that gas. And the body stores that gas as fat. And so if you want to get rid of that fat, you got to burn it. Or you got to take in less. And well, you got to burn it. You got to burn what you got. So you eat less.
Yeah.
It's just moderation. And then physical activity is just helpful in that it gives you a budget to work with. If you really are, inclined to work with a budget. But you could just do it by straight counting calories. But physical activity will be helpful because it'll help your metabolism run a little hotter. Yeah. That's what that's honestly, it's just, for me personally, it was just as simple as just counting the amount I take in. Some people find success with intermittent fasting. Some people find success with keto. Some people find success with other things. But the thing is, too, it's also, you can't approach it like this is a temporary thing. Like, this becomes part of your life. Like, this is just how you live now. You know what I'm saying?
This
like,
is your program.
It's your program. You make these choices now as long as you want to maintain the physicality you want to maintain. These are just the choices you make now.
Yeah.
This is how it is. Yeah. It's not easy, but it's also rad when it happens.
It's slow. It's grinding sometimes.
It's stinky. But then when you start seeing it change, it's so worth it. Once it starts changing, then you're like, okay, this may be worth it. You just got to look for the changes. And know that if you're out there running by my house and you're really overweight and I see you jogging, I fucking love you. You're a newcomer to me.
Right.
There's a big heavy dude that runs by my house. And sometimes we run like next to each other for a minute, and he's really heavy and he's still running. And I'm like, I want to get up and hug him and be like, fuck yeah, I want to give you a chip or something because you're the newcomer. Like, you're figuring it out, and that's rad. You're making the move, and so all you got to do is make the move.
That was me. just like out there,
big.
Me
too, dude.
And I remember running past like store windows and seeing myself and being like,
yeah, a little embarrassed. You're like, whoa, what am I doing? Yeah, I'll never give a heavy person a hard time for trying to change their lives. Yeah, ever. If I see like a big heavy person in the gym, not that I go to the gym, but when I see those posts on the internet and stuff, I think, what a cunt to make fun of a person like that. Like, you're an asshole. Like, you don't fucking, you're a cunty person. Stop being cunty. Yeah. And you out there, like, if you're deciding to change your life in that manner, then I fucking get props, dude, because it's hard. It's just like quitting drinking. This is the second hardest thing I've ever done, is trying to live like this. It's easier now, but in the beginning it sucked. It sucked every donkey dick in the world.
I've also things like, I was going to ask you this, and do you feel like it has helped your? Do you feel like the losing the weight and having an exercise program has helped your alcohol recovery in any way?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know now there's another thing up for stake if I go back out again. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna gain all that fucking weight back super fast. You're gonna get heartburn again. You're gonna get lightheaded. Not only are you just gonna blow your life up and be completely fucking a slave to this thing again, like, it's gonna fuck your health all up. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've just noticed even like the fact that I can sleep better. So when I work on Saturday nights and I get up early to go to my Sunday morning meeting, I used to just hate it and dread it because I could never get to sleep and the sleep was never good. And so I would always drag myself into this meeting and I would fucking hate it and I would never get anything good out of it. And it's like now I'm like, oh, well, I'll just get up and go. And then so what I'll do is I'll get dressed for a run. I'll go to the meeting. And then it's like, oh, well, now I'm awake. I've had some coffee. I held hands with some strangers and we fucking, hashed it out for an hour. And then I go and I get a little exercise. And it's like, what an awesome way to start my day. Like, what an awesome way.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's life is infinitely better this way than it was the other way. And it took what it took. And, that's the other thing with like, at least understanding it for me with the calorie counting and the learning about what it's going to take to lose, what it takes to lose 1 pound a week, or even if it's like just a half a pound a week. Because I could have done this in 2 years, what I did in 1 year, right?
Sure, yeah.
And the year is going to go by either way. It's still going to show up, right? It's going to be 2021. We're going to be talking here at some point about something. And so, like, what do I want to look like? What do I want to feel like? How do I want to identify myself in 2021? Well, not where I'm at currently. I'm looking for, I want to level up and I want to do more and I want to be fitter, So the fact that like that I have the perspective that I do now, that I don't have to think about it as depriving myself. In fact, I'm looking forward to things, and that it's easier for me to shed things like I don't need to eat cheese, or you know what I mean, or fucking
I know
be
what you mean, yeah.
slothful. But I would never fault anyone for any of those things in recovery. If that's what you need to stay sober, that's number one.
Yeah.
You know, like if something came up and it was like, I can't even imagine, but, and I don't feel like I've replaced my fitness. You know, I still do all of the recovery things. I do all the program stuff that I do on a daily basis and a weekly basis. I know that some people, I've heard people talk about, oh, I just go to the gym and I'll be fine. And then somebody else was talking about a relapse that they had, and that they had left the program. They were not in connection with the fellowship. They hadn't done all of that stuff that originally gave them their recovery from alcoholism, and that they were just going, oh, well, I'll just stay fit. And as long as I, exercise and go to the gym and eat right, everything will be fine. And, I guess what I'm saying is it's a part of what I do on the whole.
Yeah.
Right? It's extra, and it just helps build. It's like legs on a stool. I don't always know. I need to make sure all the legs. I use all the legs to hold the stool up. I don't know where I'm going with this metaphor, but
I was like, you're working your way through it, John. You'll get there.
I appreciate
You'll get there, buddy.
The look on your face is just like, yeah, okay, I'm
You're like, there's legs, right? And there's three.
But
I know what you mean,
I have
though.
to keep each one of these legs strong, and so
Right.
if one
you
of them,
can't just use one leg on a stool or two
Right.
legs. You need all three.
But I need to make sure they're all strong, so in case one of them gets a little bit weak, the other three can hold up. So whether it's whether it's fitness, it's recovery, it's service, it's spirituality, whatever it is, whatever those things of my my sobriety, my recovery are, this just happens to be an extra leg that I found that I can use to prop up my stool.
Word.
And from last week's, I was going to tell you, I got a message from a listener from last week's podcast, and they said, because you mentioned this is your quote, that he said something like, you guys should write a book called Metaphysical Chicken Tendies.
Oh yeah, get them metaphysical chicken tendies, dude.
And it just cracked me up.
Listen, if you're a good boy, you work out, you get some tendies, dude. Mama says you get good boy points, dude. You get some Mountain Dew and some tendies.
Yeah, for me, I had to start small and be consistent, and like
same here. It all starts that way. One step, 1 day, 1 hour, 1 minute.
One breath.
One breath.
One
breath. Like an Eminem song. I got one breath.
One breath.
That's not an Eminem song, but anyway.
There you have it.
I'm punching out. Waiter, check, please.
Yes. Yeah. Well, right on, man. This is. I hope we got some of this out, and I'm sure it'll come up again.
It always does. It's our reality.
And just wanted to say to listeners out there, thank you so much. I appreciate you listening. And if anybody has any questions or comments, I know we say this at the end of each episode, but I really mean it. If there's a topic out there too, like Jerry and I go through and we talk about these different things, and we really try to come up with something interesting and some different perspective. And I know that Jerry feels this way, and I feel this way, where we feel like we're just rehashing the same shit over and over sometimes.
Right.
And I don't want to be boring. I don't want to be repetitive, but at the same time, how much, if there's something out there that we're missing, or that somebody thinks there's a topic of discussion, we'd love to hear your ideas and opinions.
Yeah, send me your tendy recipes. Send me your tendies. All right, thanks, John.
Thanks again for listening. Our music, as always, is by Neglect. You can find more of his stuff at neglect.bandcamp.com.
And you can find us on all social media platforms that matter: Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And you can reach us at aisforalcoholic@gmail.com.
Talk to you later.
Yeah.